Hello and welcome to this session. I am Sunil Manjani. In this session, we are going to discuss mesh analysis concept. Okay, this is pertaining to network theory subject. Okay, so let us move on. So first of all, what is mesh analysis? So mesh analysis is extension of Kirchhoff's voltage law and Ohm's law. Okay. So Kirchhoff's voltage law, there are two laws, Kirchhoff's current law and Kirchhoff's voltage law. Okay. So what is mesh analysis? Okay. So mesh analysis is this is extension of Kirchhoff's voltage law and Ohm's law. Okay. So you use these two laws to apply mesh analysis. Okay. So now where it is applicable? It is applicable to only planar network. Okay, the question comes here, what is, first of all, what is mesh? Okay, when I say a mesh, okay, it is a closed electrical circuit, closed loop of electrical circuit. Okay, so suppose we have got a voltage source, a battery, resistance is there like this. So this is having only one mesh. This is having how many meshes? One mesh or loop. One mesh or loop. Okay. So two circuits, if I got this second circuit, where there are around 3 resistances, okay, I will say that it will have two closed path. Okay, it will have two closed path, that is, this is closed path 1, okay, this is closed path 2. So two closed path, that is, there are number of mesh is equal to 2, or you can also say number of loops is also 2. Okay, so now let us see what is a planar network. Okay, now consider this network. Okay, now you can see that this network is drawn, it is a AC network where this has been drawn. Okay, this has been drawn without any overlap or any branches which are passing over or under any other branch. Okay, so you can see that L is not overlapping R1 branch is not overlapping R2, any other branch is not overlapping each other, or it is not been no branch passes over or under any other branch. So such kind of a network is known as planar network. Such kind of a network is known as planar network. Okay, now let us move on to one such example. Okay, what is non-planar circuit? What is a non-planar circuit? Okay, a network or circuit that may be drawn on a plane surface. Okay, that may be drawn on a plane surface in such a way that branch passes over or under any other branch. Okay, so you can see this circuit. Okay, so you can see this circuit. So this R1 branch is not passing over or under any other branch, so this is not the problem. Okay, another branch, that is R8 resistance branch, it is passing over two branches. You can see that this is the one intersection point for branch R9, and this is other intersection point for branch R11. Okay, so R8 is intersecting R9 and R11. Okay, this branch is passing over or under the branch R9 and R11. So this type of a network is known as non-planar network. Another one you can say that R7 is passing over or under R9 and R10. So this is an intersection. Okay, this is an intersection. Okay, so there are two intersections here where R7 is passing through R9 and R5. This is the intersection. Okay, so this kind of a network is called as a non-planar network. Okay, now in certain cases it may look like the network is okay non-planar, but actually it is a planar network. See here. Okay, okay, so this network, you can see that it is a non-planar network, but if I put an overlap like this, it is a planar network. So this looks like a non-planar or not look like a planar network, but it is actually a planar network. Okay, how I can say that? I can construct this circuit like this. Okay, so you can see that this R7 is point, suppose this is point A, this is point B. Okay, R7 is between point A and B and it is overlapping, so I can draw this outside. So now from the circuit it is quite clear that okay, okay, it is quite clear that this is a non-planar circuit. This is a non-planar circuit. Okay, so this mesh analysis is applicable only to a planar circuit. Okay, now we will see the what are the procedures and equations involved in mesh analysis. Okay, so let us consider step by step procedure. The circuit is given. So step number 1, draw. Step 1, draw given circuit. Okay, step number 2, okay, mark currents in any direction. In any one direction. So mesh currents in the this current should be marked in the meshes. So let us say that this is the voltage source V1 and this is voltage source V2. We will mark the currents in clockwise direction in mesh 1. So there are 3 meshes here. This clockwise direction in mesh 2, clockwise direction in mesh 3. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Mesh 1. Okay, so these are mesh 1 current, mesh 2 current and mesh 3 current. Okay, now what I will say that step number 3, we have to formulate the circuit for Kirchhoff's voltage law. Let us formulate the circuit. See that this current from Z1, this current I1 is flowing from which direction? Is flowing from positive to negative, that is upward direction. So entering terminal is positive and leaving terminal is negative for the current through Z1. Okay, similarly, if I am considering this Z2 current like this, okay, current in Z2 is this. See there are two currents flowing, one in this direction, that is I1, and one in upward direction, that is I2. So if I say that this current is Ix, okay, so I will say Ix is equal to I1 minus I2, and it is in downward direction, so this will be plus, this will be minus. Okay, here this current in Z3 is I2, only I2, so this is plus direction, this is minus. Okay, in Z4 this current suppose is downward direction, downward is I2, upward is I3. Okay, so total current suppose here it is IY. Okay, total current is IY. So IY is equal to I2 downwards, I3 upwards, so directions are opposite, therefore sign will be opposite. So this current is downwards. Okay, this current is downward current. Okay, let us say that this is also a total current. This is also a total current. So this is step 3 and formulation of the current has been done. Okay, now let us move on to step number 4. Step number 4. Okay, so what is step number 4? What is step number 4? Okay, apply KVL. Apply KVL. So let us move on to last figure. Okay, so here you can see that if I want to apply KVL, I have got this KVL direction, same as current direction, mesh current direction, same direction. So this gives me KVL direction. KVL is Kirchhoff's voltage law. Okay, now if I apply KVL, okay, if I apply KVL, so there are 3 loops, so there will be 3 equations. There are 3 loops, there will be 3 equations. Okay, apply KVL. Okay, so first of all with loop 1, or mesh 1, this is okay, loop 1 or mesh 1. Okay, so from here it is quite clear that if I apply to mesh 1 or loop 1, see the diagram, you will get from minus to plus, that is V1 is positive, that is voltage rise. Okay, so V1. Okay, and then see here, second is impedance Z2. So we are going like this clockwise from V1 to impedance Z2. For Z2 voltage drop is plus to minus, that is drop. What is voltage drop? Ix into Z2. Ix into Z2. So plus to minus is minus. Current through Z2 is Ix and impedance is Z2. Okay. Then we are going from plus to minus Z1. Okay. Plus to minus Z1. Okay, see here, we are going from plus to minus, So what we'll get is voltage drop. Voltage drop is current which is I1 and impedance which is Z1. This is equal to 0. Okay, what is Ix? I1. So V1 minus I1 minus I2, Z2 minus I1 Z1 is equal to 0. Okay, so V1, okay, minus I1 Z2 plus I2 Z2 minus I1 Z1 is equal to 0. Therefore I will say I1, okay, I1 Z1 plus Z2, okay, minus, or rather I will say plus I2 into minus Z2 is equal to V1. This is equation number 1. Okay, so for loop 2, see here, this is I1, Ix, I2, Iy, I3. This is V2, this is V1. So from here we will directly write down what is the loop equation for loop 2. Which one is loop 2? This is loop 2. This is loop 2. Okay, so we will start from this. This is plus minus. Okay, this is also plus minus. Now we will see this direction of KVL. This is direction of KVL, this is direction of KVL, this is direction of KVL. Okay, see here. Now see that loop 2 will start from Z3. Current in Z3 is I2. So plus minus, plus to minus means minus I2 Z3. This is plus to minus. So voltage drop. Voltage drop is current into impedance. Okay, then move on to Z4. So plus to minus, plus to minus. Okay, so what it will be? Minus Iy into Z4. Okay, then see here, why this we are taking plus to minus? Because there is a voltage drop. And then we will go to Z2. From minus to plus there is a voltage rise. So plus, positive. From minus to plus there is a voltage rise. Okay, what is the voltage? Current Ix and impedance Z2. This is equal to 0. Okay, so I will get minus I2 Z3 minus, what is Iy? I2 minus I3 Z4. What is Ix? I1 minus I2 Z2 equal to 0. So if I say that, okay, what will be current I1? I1 is equal to minus Z2. Okay, I1 is equal to minus Z2 plus, this is the rearrangement, plus I2 into Z2 plus Z3 plus Z4. Okay, plus, what is the arrangement? I3 into minus Z4 is equal to 0. This is equation number 2. This is equation number 2. Okay, so we move on to further. Okay, KVL to loop 3, this is loop 3, this is current I3, this is current IY, this is voltage V2. Okay, so terminals are plus minus, this terminal is plus minus. So if I apply from Z4, so what is the KVL direction? Same as current, loop current direction. Okay, so it is going from minus to plus, that is plus IY into Z4. Okay, then plus to minus V2, that is minus V2, then plus to minus, that is minus I3 into Z5 equal to 0. So I will get, what is IY? I2 minus I3 into Z4 minus V2 minus I3 Z5 equal to 0 is equal to 0. If I multiply by minus sign, okay, if I multiply by minus sign, okay, what I will get is I3 minus I2 into Z4 plus V2 plus I3 Z5 is equal to 0. So I1, no term of I1, so 0, plus I2, is there any term of I2? Yes, minus Z4 plus I3, what is the term? Term is I3 plus Z5, I3 plus Z5, sorry, this I3 term is Z4, this you can see, plus Z4 plus Z5, Z4 plus Z5 is equal to 0, is equal to 0. Okay, so ultimately I will get I2 into minus Z4, okay, into minus Z4 plus I3 into Z4 plus Z5 is equal to 0. This is equation number 3. Okay, this is equation number 3. Okay, so what I will do is I will put equation number 1, 2, 3 in a matrix form. So putting equation 1, 2 and 3 in matrix. Okay, what I will get is I will get impedance matrix into current matrix. What is impedance into current? Is nothing but voltage matrix, is nothing but voltage matrix. Okay, so we'll write down what are the currents. Currents are I1, I2, I3. So 3 currents. So I will write down the column entries. I2, I3. What are the voltages in KVL direction? Okay, see here, voltages in KVL direction I need. What was the KVL direction here in loop 1? This. What is the KVL direction in loop 2? This. Okay, so voltages in KVL direction from minus to plus. V1 is from minus to plus, therefore V1 in first loop. This is first loop. For second loop, is there any voltage source? No, so 0. For third loop, the voltage direction is from plus to minus. Plus to minus V2, that is voltage drop. So minus V2. Okay. Minus V2. Okay, minus b2. Okay, so now we'll see what are the entries in a Z matrix. Entries in a Z matrix. Okay, see equation 1. I1 term is Z1 plus Z2, I2 terms is minus Z2, there is no I3 term, so 0. So I1 term is Z1 plus Z2, this is minus Z2, I3 term is 0. Similarly in equation 2, see equation 2, what is I1 term? Minus Z2. What is I2 term? Z2 plus Z3 plus Z4. Okay, what is I3 terms? Minus Z4. So I will write down I1 term is what? I1 term is minus Z2. I2 term is Z2 plus Z3 plus Z4, and this is minus Z4. Okay, similarly what about equation number 3? Equation number 3, no I1 term, I2 term is minus Z4, I3 term is Z4 plus Z5. So no I1 term, I2 term is minus Z4 and this term is Z4 plus Z5. Okay, in this way you can get the answers. Okay, this is a matrix form of equation 1, 2 and 3. 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so this is a mesh analysis. From this, the size of this is 3 by 3, size of this is 3 by 1. So if I multiply this, naturally this will be cancelled, so remaining size is 3 by 1. Okay, so here I1, I2 and I3 are unknowns. You can solve it by Cramer's rule. Solution by Cramer's rule. Okay, now we will see briefly what about Cramer's rule. So, but before that, okay, I think it is clear to you. Okay, so we will see what is Cramer's rule. Okay, so suppose there are three equations: a1x plus b1y plus c1z is equal to d1, a2x plus b2y plus d2 plus c2z is equals to d2, a3x plus b3y plus c3z is equal to d3. Okay, let us write in matrix form. So in matrix form, what it will be? Okay, in matrix form this will be a1, first equation a1 b1 c1, second equation a2 b2 c2, third equation a3 b3 c3. Okay, so unknowns are x, y, z. These are three variables. These a, b, c's are all constants. d is also constant. Right hand side matrix is d1, d2, d3. So this is in matrix form. Okay, so we want to find out, suppose x we want to find out. So what we'll do is we'll find a determinant. Okay, we'll find a determinant divided by determinant. Now what is this determinant? Okay, see here, this is the first entry. So what you will do is you will replace the first column of this matrix by first column of right hand side matrix. So this will be D1, D2, D3. Okay, B1, B2, B3 as it is, C1, C2, C3 as it is, and this matrix will be same this matrix. Okay, constant matrix A1, B1, C1, A2, B2, C2, A3, B3, C3. So this is how you can find out X. This is determinant sign. In short, it is also written as delta 1, that is first column replaced by delta, that is a system or constant matrix. Okay, so this is delta means determinant. Okay, so may not be visible, so I will write down, in short, X equal to delta 1 divided by delta. Okay, so let us move on to how to find Y. Okay, if I want to calculate Y, so what it would be? So determinant divided by determinant. Okay, what you will do in this case is, in this case you will replace entire B matrix or B column with right hand side matrix or column. Okay, so A1, A2, A3 as it is. Okay, B1, is replaced by D1, D2, D1, D2, D3. C1 is as it is, C3. This denominator determinant is system or constant determinant as it is, A1, B1, C1, A2, B2, C2. Okay, A3, B3, C3. Okay, this is also written as delta 2 divided by delta. In this way you can find out value of Y. Let us see how you can find out value of Z. Okay, in this way, in this method, okay, Z can be determined as a determinant in the numerator divided by determinant in the denominator. What you will do is, first two columns will be as it is, constant matrix B1, B2, B3. Third column is replaced by right hand side matrix D1, D2, D3. This is matrix with no change, A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3. This is written as delta 3 divided by delta. Okay, in this way you can find out Z matrix. Okay, so clear. So further example we will see. Okay, example question. Okay, so this Cramer's rule is very easily applicable. Okay, very easily applicable. So you can apply Cramer's rule to any set of equation, whether 2 by 2 matrix, whether 3 by 3 matrix, like that. Okay, so let us see one example question. Okay, on this. Okay, so let us consider a circuit. Let us consider a circuit. This is 10 volt. This is a resistance. Okay, so 10 volt, 5 ohms. This is 10 ohms. This is 5 ohms. Okay, we want to find out what are the mesh currents. Okay, what are mesh currents? I1 and I2. So find mesh currents I1 and I2. Okay, I1 and I2. Let us find mesh currents. Okay, so apply KVL in this direction. I am showing with red ink. Apply KVL in this direction. Okay, so this formulation will be plus minus 5 plus minus 10. What is this current? This current is, directly I am writing down I1 minus I2, and this current in 5 ohm is I2, current in this 5 ohm is I1. So plus minus, plus minus. Okay, so applying KVL, applying KVL to mesh 1. Mesh 1. This is mesh 1. Okay. See the direction of KVL in red. It is like this, clockwise. From voltage source we are going from minus to plus. So plus 10. From 5 ohm resistance we are going from plus to minus. That is minus. What is the voltage drop? I1 into 5 ohms. From 10 ohm we are going from plus to minus. So minus. Current is I1 minus I2 and resistance is 10 ohms. So this is equal to 0. This is mesh 2. Okay. So from here it is quite clear that 5I1 plus 10I1, okay, plus 5I1 plus 10I1 minus 10I2 is equal to 0. Is equal to 10. So 15I1 minus 10I2 is equal to 10. That is equation number 1. Okay, equation number 1. So KVL to mesh 2. Okay, so from 10 ohm current is I1 minus I2, resistance is 10, so into 10 it is going from minus to plus, that is plus. Voltage rise from 5 ohm it is going from plus to minus, voltage drop. 5 into current is I2, that is equal to 0. Okay, so from here clearly 10I1 minus 10I2 minus 5I2 is equal to 0. Multiply this equation by minus 1. Okay, so I will get minus 10I1 plus 15I2 is equal to 0. This is equation number 2. Equation number 2. Okay, so in matrix form, what we'll see here, okay, what we'll see here, okay, so first equation 15 and minus 10, 15 and minus 10. Second equation minus 10 and 15. minus 10 and 15. Currents are, both are clockwise currents, so plus I1 plus I2. What about voltages? See here, voltages in loop 1 in the KVL direction, voltage is plus 10, minus 2 plus is plus 10. So we'll take plus 10. In loop 2 there is no source, so 0. So plus 10 and 0. So we can find I1 and I2. Okay, we can find I1 and I2. What is I1? So by Cramer's rule, what will be I1? Determinant. See this determinant. Right hand side will be right hand side first column will be replaced by, sorry, left hand side first column will be replaced by right hand side matrix. So 10 0, this is minus 10 15, divided by, what is the matrix here? Matrix is 15 minus 10 minus 10 15. So if I solve this one, this will be 150 divided by 15 into 15 is how much? How much is 15 into 15? 225. 225. 15 into 15 is 225. Okay. So 225 minus of minus 10 into minus 10, that is 100. So 150 divided by 125. Okay. So if I calculate this, 150 divided by 125, this is 1.2 amperes. Okay. Now let us move to finding out I2. I2 is nothing but, see here, this second column will be replaced by right hand side column. Okay. So 15 minus 10, and this is 10 0, divided by 15 minus 10 minus 10 15, determinant. So this is minus 100 upon 225 minus 100. This will be, sorry, plus 100. Okay. So 100 divided by 125. This is 0.8 amperes. Okay. In this way you can apply KVL, mesh analysis, and find out the mesh currents. Okay, so clear up to this point. Okay, so let us see what we have learned today. Here we have learned detailed procedure on how to apply mesh analysis and where to apply mesh analysis. Where to apply mesh analysis. We have also learned Cramer's rule. Cramer's rule. Okay. So with that I will conclude this session. Okay. So thank you very much. We will meet in the next session. Thanks a lot.